What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JB Sports back again with another one. Scintillating performance by Shakur Stevenson, aka Floyd Mayweather Jr. 2.0, aka Floyd Mayweather Jr. the remix, as he dismantled and disarmed WBO champion Stevenson-Herring in a fight that took place in Atlanta, State Farm's Arena, home of the Atlanta Hawks. And the fight took place in front of a star-studded crowd. You had Yeezy in attendance. You had Michael B. Jordan in attendance. You had Flavor Flav in attendance. You had Quavo in attendance. You had your favorite rapper, Jadakiss, in attendance. But the biggest star of the night was Shakur Stevenson, who's from Newark, New Jersey, home of Whitney Houston. And nah, I ain't gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? Home of a lot of legendary entertainers. And he put on a legendary performance. This was a breakout fight for Shakur Stevenson, as he basically was hitting Stevenson-Herring with the jab and combination punches all night long. All night long, all night, all night, all night long, all night. Hey, yeah, he was hitting him with that jab. The hand speed was just ridiculous. Stevenson-Herring can never get a beat on the hand speed. You know, you beat speed with timing, but he tamed him. He was taming him with the straight right hands and the straight left hands. This guy's a switch hitter. He switches from southpaw to orthodox real smoothly. You know, I heard the commentators say that he's actually naturally a left-hander, but he's so comfortable with the right hand as his power punch that he just can go both ways, man. That guy is just a serious elite level fighter. Only thing missing from his repertoire is power punching, but to me, he just like Mayweather. Mayweather didn't have devastating power either, but he had enough power to get his opponent's respect, and that seems to be the case with Shakur Stevenson. Very sharp, accurate puncher. And when you're getting hit with sharp, accurate punches, that kind of makes you hesitant. That kind of makes you less inclined to let your hands go. And that's what was the case with Stevenson-Herring. Now, I thought Herring came in with a wrong game plan. Absolutely ridiculous what Bo Mac them came to the table with tonight. Why is you going to try to outbox one of the best boxers in the game? Why you going to do that? You got to step to the guy with your high guard up, jab to the body, and bully him up against the ropes. But the problem with that was Shakur Stevenson was a stronger fighter tonight. So when I did my pre-fight analysis yesterday, I said Stevenson-Herring had one chance to win this fight, one way to win this fight. And that was to bully, bogard Shakur Stevenson against the ropes, work the body, get borderline dirty, make it a real grimy, rough house type of fight. Use your advantage of being the naturally bigger guy. But all that went out the window because he wasn't able to push Shakur Stevenson around at all. Actually, Shakur Stevenson was the bully. As every time Stevenson-Herring tried to attempt to push him back, he ran into a brick wall. That guy's solid, man. That guy was coming up from 126 pounds, but he was not going to get bullied. And he was the boss in that ring. Make no mistake about it. Touching him to the body. When it was in close quarter, he was hitting that nice little check left hook to the body, a la Floyd Mayweather Jr. Many people need to go back and watch the Mayweather-Sugar Shane Mosley fight. Sugar Shane Mosley hurt Mayweather twice in that fight. But what Mayweather did was he got close to Mosley and got the tugging and wrestling with him, and he was catching him with them short little hooks to the body that basically took Sugar Shane Mosley's legs away, and then Floyd Mayweather put on a beautiful boxing exhibition and showed why he was the best fighter of that era. Stevenson-Herring ain't got nothing to be ashamed of. He just lost to the better man tonight. To me, he's a B-level fighter fighting an A-plus level fighter. And like Shakur said going to this fight, there's levels to this. He's a good fighter, but he's just not on my level. I'm a special fighter. And if he stays focused and keep his head on right and don't get into any problems outside the ring, the sky's the limit for this guy. This guy is a great fighter. I put him, Gervonta Tank Davis, and Teofimo Lopez. I put them 3 guys a little bit ahead of. I like Devin Haney, don't get me wrong. He's a very precise boxer, a very smooth and accurate puncher. But to me, man, I think he kind of got one gear. You know, I don't think he can go. I think Shakur can go to 3rd, 4th, 5th gear, and this guy maybe go to 1 gear. And I think that's the problem. When you're fighting a guy like Shakur who can fight and beat you multiple ways, see, he can box with Devin Haney, but he's got a little bit more dog, in my opinion, than a Devin Haney. He's a guy that can fight inside, outside. He's a guy that can bully you, be the boss in that ring. He's a guy that's very, very smart fighter, has a high boxing IQ, sees everything. You just looking in his eyes, very focused. He sees everything. It would be a good fight, a chess match, but I just think he can go to a little bit another gear. He can take his game to another level. And I think that's the difference between those 2 fighters. Teofimo Lopez has insane power for that weight class, very accurate puncher, and a guy that's basically is a weight bully. So he's going to be coming into a lot of these fights as a naturally bigger guy. So he's going to cause guys problems just based on size, skill, and power. Then you got Gervonta Tank Davis, who has the skill level of a Shakur Stevenson, but has power like a middleweight. But the problem with that is if he fights Shakur, if Shakur is catching him with them shots, and if he's able to tame Gervonta Tank Davis is going to have problems beating Shakur Stevenson, in my opinion. But that's a great fight. Them 3 fighters right there, I would love to see mix it up in the coming years. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. But great performance by Shakur Stevenson. I don't see anybody at 130 pounds beating him. My dream scenario would be for him to fight Lomachenko if Lomachenko defeats Richard Comey. Go up to 135 and challenge Lomachenko. That would be a great fight. That would be that'd be 2 of the most skilled fighters in boxing today facing out with each other. That fight might go down as one of the most skilled matchups, head-to-head matchups, since Leonard Hearns. High-level skill matchup. I would love to see that matchup go. And, Lomachenko's at 135, but he's a little 135-pounder. So I wouldn't be a bit surprised, even if Shakur goes up, he would still be the naturally bigger guy fighting Lomachenko. But when you're taking on the Matrix, who throws punches in bunches and fights at a breakneck pace, it'd be interesting to see if he can break the timing of a guy that's very skilled in fighting at his own pace, a steady pace. A guy that's not going slow, but he's going at a pace that's at his pace. Not the breakneck pace of a Lomachenko, so that fight's going to come down to pace. Lomachenko's going to try to speed Shakur Stevenson up. If he's able to just speed Shakur Stevenson up, then he's got the edge in that fight. But if he's not able to speed Shakur up, and Shakur gets him to fight at Shakur Stevenson pace, Shakur Stevenson has got more speed than Lomachenko. Lomachenko is fast. He's not fast as Shakur. Shakur Stevenson got a better jab than Lomachenko. Both guys are good body punchers, but Shakur Stevenson is a guy that I think can back Lomachenko up. Lomachenko is used to backing his opponents up, but I think he'll have a hard time doing that with Shakur Stevenson. So it would be a great, great matchup. Shakur Stevenson wants Oscar Valdez next, but it seems like Top Rank Boxing, led by promoter Bob Arum, a.k.a. the Ball Father, is keen on matching Oscar Valdez up with Emmanuel Navarrete. A very good stylistic matchup. That got Barrera Morales written all over it. It's written all over your face. Yeah, you don't have to say a word. Yeah. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. But that fight got Morales Barrera written all over it. That would be a great matchup between Navarrete and Oscar Valdez. And Oscar Valdez would have a much better chance to beat Emmanuel Navarrete than he has of beating Shakur Stevenson. Because Shakur Stevenson would wash Oscar Valdez, possibly stop Oscar Valdez. So if I'm on his team, I would stay clear of Shakur Stevenson. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. Now, we had Muhammad Ali grandson as the TV opener that kicked off the ESPN card. And for a guy that has little to no amateur experience, I thought he put on a good performance. He stopped the guy in the second round. Now, he was getting caught with right hands at an alarming rate. He couldn't seem to get out the way of those right hands. Andre Ward, I think, commented saying that he's leaving his chin up and he's going straight back. That was the problem. And I think another problem was he didn't know how to control distance with the jab, and he was pawing with the jab too much. You got to be able to throw that jab out as a snapping jab to snap your opponent's head back, or at least get him to move, and he can't counter you. But you got to be at a controlled distance where he know where you out of distance. I can't counter him. But he was too close, and he was pawing there. That's why the guy was coming over the top of the jab with the right hand, catching with the right hand at will, especially in that first round. He did a good job in the first half of that first round, catching Ali with a lot of right hands. But Ali is learning under the tutelage of Stuart Hill. Well, I'm saying Sugar Hill Stewart, the nephew of the Hall of Fame trainer, the late Emmanuel Stewart. So you got a lot of history in that corner. You got the grandson of Muhammad Ali, who, if not number one, number two on the greatest fighters of all time, with Sugar Ray Robinson. And then you got Sugar Hill Stewart, the nephew of the Hall of Fame trainer, Emmanuel Stewart, who's on that short list of greatest trainers in the history of boxing, along with Eddie Futch, Angelo Dundee, and people are on that level. So we will see what happens. We will see what transpires. But good performance by Ali. He's a super middleweight. He's got a lot of work to work on in his craft. He's very green, but I like what I see so far. Now, we had another guy came in after that fight, and that guy named Xander from Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico has produced great champions, great fighters in Felix Tito Trinidad and Miguel Cotto. And to me, Xander fights just like Trinidad, but he has more hand speed than Trinidad. But Trinidad had more power in both hands from what I'm seeing, though. But Xander is a good guy, good fighter. Great combination puncher. Got a good jab, knows how to control distance. He got a lot of dog in him. As he walked down, a very experienced guy in Carpensy, who has a great chin, he's able to stop him early on in that fight. I think it was round 4, if I'm not mistaken. It was a 6-round fight, so yeah, either way it goes, it's going to be early if he stopped him. But he got him out of there in good fashion. And he's a guy that you need to look out for, only 19 years old, out of Puerto Rico. So we will see what happens. We will see what transpires. But that's my quick thoughts, my quick synopsis on the 3 fights that took place on ESPN. Let me know your thoughts about Ali. Let me know your thoughts about Xander. And let me know your thoughts about the man of the hour. The man that has put himself in the mix, in my opinion, on the pound-for-pound rankings. Somewhere he got to be somewhere in the top 15, top 20 off of this performance. Just off the eye test. Not so much off the resume. It's just the best fight on his resume was Stevenson-Herring. He's definitely passes the eye test. He definitely passes the smell test as one of the elite boxers in the game today. Let me know your thoughts about tonight's card and subscribe to JB Sports, the man, the myth, the legend, and I'll holla.